Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again for those tuning in on the simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. We're glad you all could be with us today. Going to bring in our friends over on IG so they can be a part of our chat. And last but certainly not least, going to connect with our friends over on Amazon Live. Have a repeat guest that's joining us today. We haven't talked online in a while, but we're really excited about discussing his brand new book that already has people talking. I know you guys are going to enjoy it as well. We're now live now on the Amazon Live side with Cyrus Webb Presents. If you guys are new to us on Amazon, I'm going to type you guys in a welcome message over there. If you're new, make sure you guys do hit that follow button, either here in this corner or down below. You also will see the books by our next guest. Jamil Huie is back with us today. I was just saying to him, I still have my first book that we discussed on our program, God, Sex, and Slavery. He's now out with the book, The Concept of Love. And this book is, I was saying to him, is definitely a more technical book for him, but one that I think is so universal as well. We're going to talk to Jamil not only about what it's been like for him to explore love in its different forms, but also what it's been like for him also to see the way that people are connecting with the new book. Jamil, welcome back to the broadcast, man.
How's it going, Cyrus? All is well. How you doing?
Man, doing really good, man. Congratulations to you, man, on this new book. And I want to say, first of all, before we get started, you and I are just having a brief conversation before we went live, and you asked me an important question, and I wanna ask you the same question. You asked me, am I proud of myself, for what I've been doing? I want to ask you, when you kind of look at what you're building and the conversations you're having, are you proud of the communication and the conversations you're starting?
Absolutely. At the moment, yes. Now I'm more proud of myself than I was before because now it's like the conversations are a lot more detailed, deeper. People
Mm,
actually coming to me and asking me questions that I didn't expect anyone to ask me advice on. So that's
yeah.
been a wonderful experience, and I thank everybody for their input and for their excitement for this new project that I just presented to the world.
Yeah. And I think what is so great about this book, Jamil, and we can kind of dive right into it, is because you are someone, it's very obvious, even with God, Sex, and Slavery, that you're a thoughtful writer, right? That you don't just put something on a page, you really do put meaning behind it. And there's something that you really want readers to get from it. With the concept of love, when I first heard about the book, as someone who I'm not going to say I'm cynical when it comes to love, but I'm someone who I see love in such an interesting way for myself. I love the way that you address that in this book because you show that, for one thing, we don't all love the same. There's so many different types of love, and that your experience with love, which we actually get a chance to read some in the book, is going to be different than everyone else's. How important has that been for you to help people understand that maybe it's not the idea of love that may be their issue, but their approach to love that they have?
Yes, the approach. A lot of times it is the approach because first you got to understand you, understand what your love is, what your definition of love is, and a lot of times we allow other people to dictate that for us. We don't look into
Yeah,
ourselves and love ourselves first to say, hey, you know what? This is how Jamil, this is how Cyrus, this is how Tom, Susie love themselves in order for them to accept love in the right way. So just learn how you are first and what are your likes, dislikes, things like that. How do you want to be loved? In order for you to understand it. So I think that that's basically what the book was going over because I went through basically a very harsh moment. That's why I wrote the book. The book is basically based on a broken heart. So the
yeah,
point of writing the book was to discover why do I feel the way I feel and why do I keep going through the same thing over and over and over again and feeling these unimaginable painful moments in life. So then when
yeah.
I wrote the book, I realized that love is different forms, it's different things, it's different people, different projects, things like that. So that's hopefully that answered the question. But yeah, I think that's basically it. Just figure out love for yourself. What do you define love as, and then that will give you a better trajectory into having better relationships, not only with your lovers but also your family members and friends.
Yeah. And as you show in the book with yourself as well, Jamil, too. The poetic plug, hello to you over there on IG. Glad to see you. One truly me, hello to you. Angela Anderson presents, hello to you over there on IG. And talk to Molly, hello to you too. And this brings us to another point here, Jamil. And I'm so glad that, what I've always tried to tell people, and I think we're getting it now, and I'm curious as to your thoughts about this, is that people will say that we as men that we don't communicate, that we don't talk, we don't express ourselves. One thing I love that you do in this book, and you show that maybe it's not that we don't do those things, maybe we just don't do it the way that other people expect us to. And I think one of the things that I love that you did is get to the technical aspect of love and how each of us approach love. Why did you decide to be able to explore that as you were writing this book, Jamil, to be able to show that, there are definitely hormonal things that kind of contribute to the way that we approach love and also be able to even showcase love?
Well, as far as the hormones like your dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, and stuff like that, that affects your hormones in your mind. I wanted to I wanted to try to figure out like why am I feeling like this in my heart? Like
Yeah.
is this only about my heart? It has to be something else that's going on inside my body that I feel all this pain. My pulse is racing, my mind is racing, everything is happening. So then I
Mhm.
started digging a little deeper, and that's when I discovered like okay, the love doesn't have is not everything just about the heart. We have associated the heart with love throughout entirety of the human race, and we're
Mhm.
not that there's chemical balances, chemical imbalances, and there's things that has to kind of work together in order for you to feel these butterflies in your stomach. When you see
Yeah.
someone, talk to somebody, when you spend the time with someone, it's like you feel all of these amazing emotions and these things are shooting off, and it's allowing you to do different things. It makes you eat more candy, make you drink more alcohol, make you do this, make you do that. It affects you in a plethora of ways. So that's
Yeah.
basically what it is. And then I had to look within myself, like, okay, maybe I'm the person that's making all of these mistakes. What's going on? Why am I not loving the person how they want to be loved? Or why am I not doing the right things? Not saying I'm doing the wrong things. And that's
Mhm.
where self love comes in when you learn, like, okay, maybe I'm not doing the wrong things. It's the person that maybe we're just not connecting correctly. I need to find the right person for me. But as far as
Yeah.
like loving my love and the way I showed it before was in my work. I worked hard. I came home. I made sure I took care of my family or whatever it
Mhm.
is. But I didn't realize that I also had to look into how is my partner receiving that love? Does she want
Yeah.
something? Does she want me to bring her flowers? Does she want me to talk to her more? Does she want to do this? So it's just life, and you have to learn as you go and realize, like, okay, maybe I need to adapt and treat this person how they want to be loved, just like I want to be loved a certain way. And that's basically why I came up with the idea of everything that came in this book. Yeah.
I love that. Coach Kenya K, hello to you over there on Facebook. Good to be able to see you. And I love to, that brings, the Poetic Plug says hormonal and generational. That is so true, the Poetic Plug. And I think, too, what I love, too, that you did in the book that I did not know when I first bought the book, Jamil, and I think our audience will appreciate this. You approach this in different ways, looking at religion when it comes to love, the biology of love. And you write something in the book I actually want to read, and I love this because you do help us to be able to ask ourselves questions, Jamil, but also to think about for ourselves about when it comes to the biology of love. You say this: how has something that is unhealthy keep a hold on something that has a desire to be healthy? It is called mechanism, the lack of dopamine release in the absence of atomic exchange. The reward center of the brain is missing the spark of initiation to get going. Now the anxiety of separation has taken hold. Depression and sadness work its magic, and an action is required for relief. The body goes into action, and action is taken, and you have the illusion of a precise mechanical operation. The body settles into ease with the idea that is executed in action to achieve its desire to protect its most treasured. And the initiator receives an increase in its profit margin. I love the fact that you're able to kind of break this down in a way to help us understand, like what you just saying about the candy and alcohol. There are different things that we have to look at, and that does go to realizing that all of us are created differently and all of us react differently. How did it free you, Jamil, not to be able to think that you have to love like someone else loves, and
Mhm.
even be able to expect what someone else may be getting?
Okay, so the reward center in the mind is basically it doesn't know what is good and what is bad. So if you're in a
Mhm.
very traumatic or horrible relationship, it's going to still give you the reward anyway. So your dopamine is going to fire off whether something is good or whether
Mhm.
something is bad. That's why sometimes relationship they like, oh my God, I stayed in a relationship that was very toxic and abusive for so many years. Now realizing is that their body is working, their body is doing things because it needs that reward. Your reward is dopamine. Your reward is serotonin levels. Everything is moving around. So you have to. This helps us because then now we can actually think about what we're doing and say, you know what, maybe this is not right for me. Maybe this is something my body's telling me, okay, I'm getting a reward and I'm doing bad things and I'm harming myself. And now I'm destroying myself in order to feel a dopamine, feel that ain't right for me. So we could kind of look at life a little bit different and say, okay, you know what, let me sit back. Okay, what is love? Is love abusive or is love healing? Is
Mhm.
does love remove all the good in my life, or does it bring good into my life? So we have to look at things in a technical matter as well as an emotional matter. A lot of times we make emotional decisions.
Yeah.
And a lot of times our dopamine's fire when our emotions are basically getting shredded apart by someone else. And we don't realize, like, hey, you know what? The person leaves, and then next thing you know, we feel anxiety. Like, oh my God, this person is not here. Anxiety has arrived because now the dopamine levels has dropped. You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So we got to
Yeah.
realize those are bad dopamine, and we need good dopamine in order. So we got to figure out what good dopamine is to us in order for us to carry on in life and have a better, basically, relationship with ourselves. Because you have to have a better relationship with yourself in order to have something better with someone else. Or you got to know that, hey, somebody else is treating me like garbage. I don't think this is the right thing for me. Let me move on. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. Right. It's
it's
such an important thing. Dr. Nessa Short, hello to you there on Facebook. The Poetic Plug brings up a really good point, Jamil. She says, yes, women need attention and communication. Most men think all they have to do is bring home a paycheck, but we need more. We are emotional creatures. And I think then that goes to an interesting thing about conversations. Chris says on Facebook, it's tough to be stoic and vulnerable at the same time, to show a soft side and be able to be looked at as someone who can protect and provide. Hard lesson to learn. And this brings up the whole point of this book. And this is why we're so glad to have you back here, Jamil, because just like I saw you having conversations with people, we can see even in the chats on the different platforms, men and women are being able to chime in. How does it feel to know that you've written something that allows people to be able to, one, to express themselves, but also to feel seen and understood?
it feels amazing because basically, like I said, the reason why I wrote this book is I had to figure out what was going on with me. Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? And
Yeah.
as I put the book, I realized like, hey, you know what? I'm not the only person that's going through this. As you're doing
Right.
research, looking through all of these different stuff that's going on, there's people that's experiencing the worst case scenario in love of their life, and they want
Mhm.
to, why am I feeling this bad? Why am I destroying myself based on this love, that this pain that just left me? So it feels amazing. I don't know, excited. My dopamine. So, you
The dopamine.
know what I'm saying? So it's like it
Yeah.
feels great. So I can't
Yeah.
like I can't even absorb all of this right now. Maybe one day I will, and you know what I
Got
mean.
you.
Book is growing because it's growing every day. Like every day is growing and it's creating more conversation and people are asking more questions. I'm just hoping that I have I'm not gonna say it like that, but I have the intellect, I have the information that they need in order to help them to get the answers that they're actually looking for, and the answers can actually help them to basically strengthen their way of living in a better way or a more healthy way for them.
Love that. I'm going to say for those who are just tuning in, welcome. You're watching Cyrus Webb Presents on the Amazon Live platform, but we're simulcasting on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and on Instagram. My friend Jamil Huie is back with us today. He and I first connected because of this book, a novel, God, Sex, and Slavery. You all can see there. It's also here on Amazon. But his newest book is called The Concept of Love. It's a nonfiction book, as you can tell, all about the dynamics of love. And one of the things that you really show in the book, and you do break it down in different aspects, talking about the biology of love, the religion of love. You talk about your own personal love experience, and as you mentioned, going through heartache there, Jamil. But then you also give examples of love showing itself, and one that really stood out to me when I was reading the book was the one man who, of course, was with his wife who had cancer, and I won't spoil that whole
Mhm.
story so they can read that to be able to see it. But one thing I tell people when I grew up, I didn't. It wasn't necessarily that I kept hearing, my father say to me, "I love you," but he showed it in making sure that we were taken care of, that we had what we needed, and I saw that as love. I didn't need the words. What was that like for you to look at examples like what you shared in the book, though, about how love shows itself, even if it's not always spoken?
Um, that's where the miscommunication comes in. Is a lot of times it's like people are showing love in the way that they learned it. Because remember,
Yeah.
in religion, in our history, when you look in our past, what our grandmother taught us, what our Bible taught us, how to love, what we need to do. But we need to understand that love is a little bit more than all of these things that grandma taught me or grandpa taught me.
Mhm.
That we have to open our eyes and look like, okay, maybe this person didn't buy me flowers. Maybe this person didn't remember I don't know, an occasion or something like that, but they're working. They're showing their love in so many different ways. They're, I don't know, paying the bills, they're cleaning up, they're taking care of the kids, they're doing all of this stuff. And a lot of times this is what break relationships up.
Yeah.
Because now it's like someone is sitting there and saying, you know what? I know this person's paying the bills and I know this person is like taking care of the kids or they're washing dishes or whatever it is, but they don't say I love you. You know,
Hmm.
and then now that you created something in your mind to destroy something that's already beautiful. Instead of
Hmm.
verbally saying, hey, you know what? I love you. I don't like the way you're not expressing these things to me to make me feel this way. And this is the way I need to be loved. But you got
Yeah.
to also make sure you are expressing your way of saying, you know what? I want to be loved like this, and I'm going to ask you, how do you want to be loved? And then you have to accept it and come together and kind of create this bond, this team, in order to move forward. It takes time. It takes the willingness to communicate and the willingness to go
Yeah.
further than what it is. But like you said, your father never said it, but he did it in other ways, and you understood that. But that
Right.
doesn't mean the same thing for the next person. Maybe
Yeah.
the next person don't understand that's the way the other person expressed their love. And if they need more, they need to open their mouth and say, hey, I need more. I need you to tell me something or do something. And then they could come to some form of middle ground and meet them where they are. You know what I mean? Like you didn't start out, you started out for a reason. A lot of people need to understand that as well. You
Mhm.
started, when you get to the middle, it gets kind of shaky. When you get towards a little further, it gets kind of shaky. Always remember why we started in the beginning and
Yeah.
why go from this point into a better world where we both, you know what I mean, where vacation is home, you know? So that's,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's so interesting. I thought about when I was reading that experience I was talking about. We have some comments coming. I'm going to bring in as well, Jamil. But I brought up that about my father because I have grown up not always saying "I love you," even the people I do love.
Yeah.
I feel like I express it, in other ways. And I remember the day before my grandmother died. This was now 11 years ago, and I said to her, I said, I know you know this. I don't always say it, but I love you. And she said to me something that was so freeing, Jamil. She said, Cyrus, you didn't have to say it. You showed me every day.
Wow.
And so that helped me because I'm not always someone who does this for a living. I'm still not very expressive. And so that was helpful for me. But to the point you're making is such a good one that she understood it. Not everyone may have understood it without the words being spoken. Chris brings up a really good point I want to bring up. Hello to you, Jay Styles Music. Good to see you over there on IG. Graceful Travels. Hello to you over there on IG. Farm Biz Live. Hello to you as well. Chris says something really good as a good feather in your cap. Jamil, he says there's a ton of literature for women to look at and know how they want to be loved. There isn't that much literature for men on how to love. Thank you for shedding a light on this subject. So that's another great one that we'll screenshot for you, Jamil. And also over there on IG, this is where let's see. Is it JBNYC says hello everyone? This is where knowing our significant other's love language comes in. Let's talk about that. That's a really good point. And
Mm-hmm.
again, I think even that term, unfortunately, I think it's gotten muddied. Jamil, talk to us about that. The point that JBNYC makes on Amazon, that this is where knowing our significant other's love language comes in. Is that one of the things you hope kind of happens when people read this book?
Yes, I hope they open up more. I hope people open up more and realize that there is different ways to love, and
Hmm.
there's a place where you can come down or come up a little. Meet your partner somewhere. Meet them in the middle, at the end,
Hmm.
wherever it is. You give them 20, 50, whatever percentages, and you have to be willing to do it. You have to be willing to say, you know what, I want to fix this. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Or I want what, even if it's an amazing relationship, how can
Mm.
we enhance this to another level to make it better than what it was? So that's, like you said, learn, be open to learning. Like, hey, you know what, babe, like, what do you like what do you want me to do? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? First met, yes, you did everything you were supposed to do, but as you're going, all of this stuff dropped off. Why? Because life took its toll? No, you can put the time in and learn somebody's love language and what they want to actually feel like, and then put the effort in to do it. And then I want to go back to something you said, Cyrus. Is like you
Yeah.
said, you was unable, you wasn't saying love, but you was giving love the way your father taught you.
Hmm.
So you learn how to, if you see like your history and things that you learn and you look at, your father didn't say he loved you, but he did everything he needed to do in order to show you that. you picked up those aspects as well in your life, and that's why as you're going, and then your aunt said, "Hey," you said, "Hey, I know you love me because of everything you did." I was the same way where I wasn't showing my kids too much affection. I thought giving them things and doing certain things will make them happy, and then later on, I realized like, no, my kids need me there, talking to them, loving them, giving them all this different type of love language, as the person said. Just give them different like money and oh, if you want this, I'm going to buy this. It doesn't show them that you love them because they
Yeah.
don't believe in that language. But like you said, you believed in language, and at one point, I believe in that language as well. And I had to learn, like, no, this is not the way it is. I have to spend more time with my kids. I have to show them.
Mm.
I tell them. I tell them now I love them every single day. Before I wasn't doing that.
Wow.
You
Yeah.
understand? My kids know. They like, yeah, Dad, I know I love you. I know you love me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ask them, like, you
Yeah.
guys know I love you. They're like, yeah. You know what I mean? My son said it the other day. He said, Dad, this is the most time you spent with me for and since I was a kid.
Wow.
You
Wow.
understand? Loves it. And he's like, Dad, this is the closest we've ever been. And I'm
That's
like, yeah,
amazing.
right, because now we're spending time together. We're doing certain things. I understand my kids' love language more because I put the time in to learn them and understand them a lot better than I did before.
Hmm.
At before I was just giving them things, thinking that that will feed their or make them know that, hey, Dad loves you. I used to
Right.
on the clock just to provide or do whatever. And then now I realize like, no, like take a day, 2 days, 3 days, whatever it is, and you go see your kids, you go talk to them. You showed them show them that you love them in their way. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then not appreciate it more. So yes, to answer
Yeah.
the questions, learn someone's love language. And it's not just your lover, it's your family, your friends, your kids, your co-workers. I don't even know, a stranger. Just show some form of love or try to just sit there and understand somebody for 2 seconds out of your day. Life is
Yeah.
not busy.
Yeah, such a great point. The Yellow Music, hello to you. Graceful Travels over on IG says, Jamil, love hearing a man's perspective on love because men don't say much about it. And we were talking about that Graceful Travels earlier. And I think and I think Chris alluded to this too on Facebook as well. So what is your hope then, Jamil, as people are now, your cousin Debbie's on Amazon too, by
Hey,
the way.
what's up, man?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But so, what is your hope, Jamil? The book is available now, of course, here on Amazon. I bought the paperback, but there is the Kindle edition. Guys, if you want to start reading it today, the Kindle edition is only $3.99 over on Amazon. I'm going to highlight it for you guys over there. And for those of you joining us on the simulcast, if you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, you'll find the Amazon link with the broadcast. If you're joining us on IG after the show is over live, we'll put it in our stories and we'll tag Jamil so you got some following here. What is your hope that when men and women pick up the concept of love, Jamil, that it does for them?
Um, I'll just say one of my friends noticed. She said to me, she said, Jamil, I didn't know he was such an amazing writer because the other
Mm.
book, like I'm a little bit scared of that book. She didn't want to touch it. She's like after I read your book, she realized how much. She's like, I realized how much I love my husband. I was like, I didn't realize
Mm.
that before.
Yeah.
They have an amazing relationship. They love each other. They live together. They created this amazing world together. But she explained to me, she said, after understanding these different components of love, I know that, okay, this is the person I actually love. And that's the point of this book is I want people to realize like what love is. It's not just, hey, it's define love for yourself first. First, define love for yourself and live in that.
Hmm.
It's okay to live in love. It's okay to let go and love things how you want it, how you want to love them, and allow people to love you how you want to be loved. So that's the
Right.
point of the book, to understand it more. So you have discernment. Somebody try to show you fake love, you're like, nah, this ain't what real love is. Somebody
Mhm.
show you real love, okay, this is real love. And then now I can inject love back into that love to create something greater. So that's the point, like I said, is to just kind of inject love into the world or love into people's mind to understand it more, to accept it more, to be more willing to let go of their old beliefs and then now look into something different and trying to define love and see, you know what? Love is undefinable.
Yeah.
So
Love
that's
that.
mhm.
It's a great message, Jamil. So proud of you, man. Again, everyone, Jamil Huie has been our guest. And man, the time just flew by. I told you it was going to be a a quick time.
Like
Again, again, the concept of love is the book that's available now through our friends here on Amazon. Again, as I mentioned, I have the print edition here. You can get it for only $15.99, or you can be able to get the Kindle edition today for only $3.99. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. Jamil, so proud of you, man, on this book. It's a great conversation piece, as you can tell. even in this 25 minutes we've been speaking right here. How can our audience stay connected with you, Jamil?
Just connect with me on IG or Facebook. Just type my name in, Jamil Huie, JamilHuie, or type in knowledge, KNALEDGE, and then you'll find me anywhere. Or you could just type me in Google and it just pop right up.
There you go. Well, man, thanks again for stopping by. Really appreciate it. For those of you who follow me on the Amazon side, we know that we are promoting Jamil's book this month in our Amazon storefront, so you guys can find it there. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. And Jamil, looking forward to our next conversation together, man.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.